Well, get on me old booties. Hey guys, and welcome to episode 2 of Pimp my Partscaster. Quite a lot to report. I think in the last episode we done strap body, solid rosewood neck with a modern carve flatter radius. I think that's where we were at roughly. So what I didn't say in the last one is that I'd contacted some UK luthiers about making the neck and looked at Warmouth, I'm sure you all know of Warmouth, and I was like, oh, the UK luthier is going to take 4 to 6 weeks, should we just get on with it? And you guys were like, no, let's wait for the UK luthier. So it's been a little while whilst we're getting the neck to get made, but it's actually nearly there. I've got some photos which you're probably looking at right now, and it looks fucking great. Right, some of the things we went over next were then I asked you guys what tuners we wanted to do. If we wanted to go for kind of like a more modern tuners or like vintage style tuners, and thank God you voted for vintage tuners because, I mean, those vintage buttons look so much better, right? Oh, yeah, those vintage buttons are so much classier. So that's great news. We can still do the vintage buttons and put lockers on, like this one. Vintage buttons, but they're lockers as well. I'll get my face out of the way, it will zoom in. Peter wanted to know, Peter's Shoreline Guitars, shout out to him. He normally does a double-ended truss rod, so I said that was fine. And then he asked me what neck width, and I actually opted for just the slightly wider one because I didn't want it to be too tight in the neck. So I actually just took the decision on that one. It's only 1 millimeter, so the neck width is just a tiny bit wider, a bit more modern. Then we wanted to know what frets we wanted, so I asked you guys if you wanted kind of more vintage traditional frets, the softer material, or the more modern harder frets. For me personally, I don't see any downside in using harder frets. A lot of the people online will tell you that the harder frets are brighter and they don't sound as good, but for me I don't believe in that. But I gave you guys the option if you want to go vintage correct or more modern, and you chose for the more modern, harder frets, which to me makes way more sense. And then we chose if we wanted to do thin frets or fat frets. So I kind of like medium frets personally. So I'm kind of on the fence with these. So traditionally, wider frets are better for bends. Thinner frets better for chords and stuff like that, more accurate. So that's the thought process. So you chose thinner frets, which is fine. So you probably won't go like super vintage, but we'll go for like a nice medium point. We're not going to go jumbo fat frets for like all the blues lawyers and stuff. So nice choices all around. Great, going well. So I think I told Peter we're going to go for Jessica Evo frets, which are gold, or they're not actually gold, they're kind of gold tinted. And I think with the rosewood neck, it's going to look lovely. We're starting to get exciting now. The neck's going to be with us soon, and then we're going to get all the parts. We can actually start to look at it and build it. It's actually going to get quite exciting. So pickups was next. So the first one I did polls on was the bridge pickups. I thought that's kind of the most popular pickup, if you like. So I think I went with humbucker, single coil, Filtertron, P90. That was it. P90 Filtertron, humbucker, single coil. Secretly, I was hoping for P90 in the bridge. You guys voted humbucker, which is cool. Humbucker is a great choice for a bridge on a Strat, and I'm glad it wasn't a single coil. So next up, we had the neck choice, and so the options for that I think I put up were mini humbucker, Filtertron, and single coil. The reason I didn't put P90 in is because I just thought it got such low votes for the bridge. I thought it just wouldn't get a look in at all in the neck, so I opted to not put it, and I swapped it for mini humbucker. And the mini humbucker I put up was so mint. It was like the picture I put up, which is what I would have gone for if you selected it, was a gold foil topped creamery neck humbucker. I mean, and you voted single coil. Just have to suck it up, that's the whole point, right? It's supposed to be a group decision. I'm not going to lie, I'm disappointed you didn't vote for mini humbucker. The guitar's still going to be great. Seeing as we had a humbucker in the bridge and a single coil in the neck, I thought it's going to be weird if we put a humbucker in the middle as well. It's going to be unbalanced. So the options I gave you for the middle position were another single coil, so we can get all those nice in-between Strat sounds, or none, which is kind of cool, like a the guy from the band, Robbie something. At the minute, it's still being voted on, but it basically looks almost certainly it's going to be another single coil. So it looks like we're going humbucker, single coil, single coil. So we've got a Relic Strat. See my cat there. with a solid rosewood neck, a more modern carve, modern radius, thinner frets, harder fret wire, humbucker single coil, and I think vintage style tuning buttons. So quite a lot of decisions been made already, and to be honest, most of it's gone how I would have chosen it, which is really cool. Like I said, probably the only things I would have done differently is I probably would have gone something like P90 single coil mini humbucker. So we've still got plenty of options we can play around with going forwards, and I'm super excited to see what happens. The neck should be with me very soon actually. I think Peter's nearly finished carving it. I really need to get a crack on and get a body ordered. Now I know what pickups, I can order the pickups, so that's great, and then we can actually start thinking about the wiring and all that cool stuff, pick guards, so it's going to be cool. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of Pimp My Partscaster. Press like, subscribe, all that stuff that everyone tells you to do, that would be awesome, and until next time, see you later.